A clean STI costs $30,000. A decent Skyline, $50,000. The Eclipse GSX with the same turbo all-wheel drive setup, $8,000. And here's the part nobody tells you. It's running the exact same 4G63 engine that powers the Evo. While everyone's crying about JDM prices, the GSX is sitting there with 210 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and a transmission that won't grenade when you double the power. The catch? You need to know which year to buy, because Mitsubishi made one change that ruins everything. Let's start with what you're actually buying. First generation GSX, 1990 to 1994, 195 horsepower, 203 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds. Second generation, 1995 to 1999, 210 horsepower, 214 pound-feet, 0 to 60 drops to 6.4. Both generations get the W5M 3.3 5-speed manual and full-time all-wheel drive with a rear limited-slip differential. Weight? About 3,200 pounds for first gen, 3,400 for second gen. But those numbers don't matter. What matters is this. The 1990 and 1991 models came with the 6-bolt 4G63 block. Everything after that got the 7-bolt. And if you're planning any serious power, we're talking over 400 horsepower, that 7-bolt will develop crankwalk and destroy itself. The 6-bolt? People are running 500, 600, even 700 horsepower on stock blocks. Same basic engine, one design change, completely different limits. Here's your buying strategy. For maximum power potential, you want a 1990 or 1991 with the 6-bolt, or a 1995 to 1996 second gen that some people swapped to 6-bolt. For reliability and daily driving, get a 1998 or 1999. They sorted out the early transmission issues, improved the engine mapping, and the limited slip diff comes standard. Whatever you do, avoid early 1995 models. The synchros were made of glass. Let's talk money. A decent running GSX costs $8,000 to $18,000 right now. Compare that to a WRX at $15,000 to $30,000 or an Evo at $25,000 to $40,000. You're getting the same basic formula: turbo 4-cylinder, all-wheel drive, massive tuning potential for literally half the price. And parts? A rebuilt 4G63 costs $3,000. A built motor that handles 500 horsepower? $6,000 to $8,000. Try pricing out an STI engine build. Stage 1 mods get you to 350 horsepower on stock internals. Downpipe and exhaust, $500. Front mount intercooler, $1,200 from AMS Performance. Cold air intake, $300. Boost controller to run 20 PSI, $200. ECU tune, $500. Total investment, $700 for 350 reliable horsepower. The stock bottom end handles this all day long if you keep up with oil changes. Want more? Stage 2 pushes 450 horsepower. You'll need a bigger turbo. The TD5H16G is the go-to choice at about $800. 550cc injectors, $400. Walbro fuel pump, $150. Forged pistons and rods, $1,500. Head studs, $300. Professional install and tune, $3,000. You're looking at $6,000 total to reliably run 450 wheel horsepower. That's supercar territory for Civic money. But here's what kills these cars: neglect. The timing belt needs replacement every 60,000 miles. Skip it, and you're looking at bent valves and a $4,000 rebuild. The transfer case develops bearing noise around 100,000 miles. Budget $2,500 for a rebuild. The turbo typically lasts 150,000 miles before it needs attention. None of this is unreasonable, but ignore it, and you'll join the crowd complaining about DSM reliability. The suspension needs attention too. Stock setup is soft, body roll is excessive, and the geometry goes to hell when you lower it. BC Racing coilovers run about $200 and transform the car. Add white line sway bars for $500, and you've got a setup that actually puts the power down. For wheels, you're working with a 5x1 14.3 bolt pattern. Most guys run 17 or 8 with a 35 to 40 millimeter offset, wrapped in two 35/45 R17s. Threepiece.us has the fitment specs dialed for these cars if you want to go wider without rubbing. Stock brakes? Forget it. They're fine for street driving, but one track session and they're gone. The Willwood Superlight kit costs $2,000 and fixes everything. If that's too rich, at least throw in Hawk Horsepower's pads and high-temp fluid for $300 total. The difference between surviving a track day and sitting in the paddock with cooked brakes. Let's address the elephant. These cars have a reputation. Yes, the wiring can be finicky. Yes, the crank angle sensor fails. Yes, you'll chase electrical gremlins. But you know what? Every 90s performance car has issues. The difference is the DSM community documented every single problem and solution. DSM Tuners has 20 years of fixes. The Facebook groups are actually helpful. You're not pioneering anything. Someone's already solved your problem. Real-world ownership costs? Budget $500 to $2,500 a year for maintenance if you're daily driving. Oil changes every 3,000 miles at $80. Timing belt service every 60,000 miles, Warsaw to $200. Clutch every 100,000 miles, on a $500. Insurance runs about $1,500 a year for full coverage. Fuel economy? You'll see 22 miles per gallon mixed driving, maybe 18 if you're boosting everywhere. Not terrible for a car that runs with modern performance cars. Here's why prices won't stay low. First, the Fast and the Furious effect is real. Paul Walker's Eclipse already pushed first-gen prices up 30%. Second, clean examples are disappearing. Most got modified, crashed, or parted out. Third, 90s nostalgia is peaking. Everything from this era is appreciating. Fourth, you can't buy anything comparable new. A Golf R costs 45 grand. The new WRX lost its soul. The Eclipse GSX offers that raw, mechanical experience you can't get anymore. Bottom line, the Eclipse GSX is your last chance to own a turbocharged all-wheel drive Japanese legend without selling a kidney. You want maximum power? Find a 6-bolt 1990 or 1991. You want the best daily? Get a 1998 or 1999. Budget 10 to 15 grand for a good example, another 5 grand for essential mods, and keep 2 grand in reserve for maintenance. Join the forums before you buy. They'll save you from buying someone else's nightmare. Skip this if you need perfect reliability, hate working on cars, or care about interior quality. But if you want accessible speed, proven tuning potential, and a piece of 90s history you can actually afford to drive, the Eclipse GSX is it. These prices won't last. In 5 years, you'll either own one or wish you did. The choice is yours.